Everybody, Playtendoguy here, and I'm back with another video. It's the first week of June, already half the year's nearly all gone. Can't believe it, it's gone so quickly. But as it's the first week of the month, you know what time it is. It's time to go through everything I picked up in the month of May. And my word, there's a lot. So without further ado, let's get into it. May was a month with a lot. There was the ending of the Arrow sale. There was also a sale going on at Poundland with loads of titles being reduced. And then there was also a sale at HMV, a glorious sale that I indulged a little bit too much in. So anyway, enough talking, let's dive into things. First up, I'll talk about a couple of games that I picked up during the month. Ordered these off Amazon. It cost me just over about 45 quid for the pair of them. I picked up Horizon Forbidden West. Been playing this over the weekend. Absolutely loving it. It's a fantastic game. Great sequel. It's your typical open world sort of game, but the combat is great. The story is pretty interesting. The world is just beautiful to explore. And for the aging PS4, the game looks absolutely glorious. Up with Shadow of the Tomb Raider. This is normally a tenner, but because I had a £5 voucher, this only cost me a fiver, so that's brilliant. From Poundland. As we all know, Poundland hasn't really had a delivery for a good 6 to 9 months. And now they do realise that it's coming to the end. They're just reducing everything to £1 now of Blu-rays. DVDs are 50p, but there's not really many DVDs that interest me. So I picked up a few Blu-rays. First up is Robert Pattinson and Pierce Brosnan in Remember Me. Don't really know much about it. It's basically, I think it's post-Twilight or during Twilight, like a romantic drama with Robert Pattinson. For a quid, I thought I'd give it a go. We also have Sunshine on Leaf. This is based on the Proclaimers music. We do have Jane Horrocks from Little Voice, and we also do have Jason Fleming in this. Casting seems to be quite good, and again, very similar to Remember Me. It seems to be like a romantic film, probably a romantic musical. The first titles to really do the rounds in Poundland. I've never seen this before, always wanted to, and I was very intrigued by it, and that is The Artist. I can remember a lot of buzz when this came out. This was like the first silent film, black and white, for quite a while. And also everybody remembers Little Uggy the dog. He was everywhere back in 2011. So yeah, that's The Artist for £1. One of them actually did get a restock, which surprised me, one of the Poundlands where I went into. And I picked up Hayden Christensen from Star Wars and Jumper. Hugely underrated film this is. I had a lot of fun with it. Also stars Samuel L. Jackson. From what I remember, it's about like these people with special powers who can jump from one place to another just by thinking it. And Samuel L. Jackson is hot on the heels of Hayden Christensen to try and hunt them down. I think if I remember correctly, Jamie Bell's in this. So yeah, I haven't seen it in years, but look at that front cover. That's awesome. That is I already had this on DVD, but I want the upgrade to Blu-ray. As I've got the other two on Blu-ray, I thought I might as well get this one and complete the Dark Knight trilogy. So that is Dark Knight Rises. Easily my least favourite of the trilogy. I just could not get on with this one. I thought it was too long. I thought it was quite boring. And Bane, whilst also being cool, his voice just was awful. Yes, Batman. It's just like really. You have this big hulking threat. Yes. It's just a really daft voice, but still, at least we've got it in the collection and only a quid. And the final one from Poundland is Aaron Paul in Need for Speed. Big Need for Speed fan. I do like the games. I think they're pretty good. They've been up and down over the years, but I remember when this came out and I had a friend at the time who just would not shut up about this film. I never saw it, and always wanted to. From what I gather, it's going to be like a Fast and Furious type film. You do have Dominic Cooper in this, and I think Imogen Potts is in this as well. It should be a pretty fun sort of popcorn flick. So yeah, that's Need for Speed for a quid. Easily the biggest film of the month. It released in cinemas in February. I never saw it. I'm a big fan of the games, and I thought I'd pick it up and give it a watch, and that's Uncharted. Didn't mind it. It was a solid film. It really just takes events from the first four games and just mix them up in some weird sort of story that basically starts off as a prequel but takes elements from other games. It's just very, very odd, to be fair. I do think Mark Wahlberg is wholly miscast here as Sully, but I think Tom Holland, whilst he's too young in my opinion to play Nate, he does a fantastic job. He's incredibly likeable and he holds this film all the way through. There's some fantastic set pieces in this. I do think there's a lack of certain characters here that do harm it, and also Antonio Banderas is just a waste of time in this film, to be fair. But there's solid foundation here for a really good sequel, but honestly, it's worth a go. If you're a fan of the games, just try not to think too hard about how true to the games it is. But it's one of the better movie tie-ins. As we all know, Asda do like Blu-rays, but they don't do a lot in my local one. But this one where I went into, they do a 2 for 10 offer for 2 Blu-rays, so it's not too bad. So I picked up Fight Club with Brad Pitt, Edward Norton, Meatloaf, and Helena Bonham Carter. Don't know nothing about this film whatsoever, so it's going to be a first time watch, and I'm very looking forward to watching it. And I bundled that up with Commando, which I watched recently and had a lot of fun with it. This comes with the director's cut and the theatrical cut, and a load of special features. Also picked up a Paul Bettany film with Malcolm McDowell and David Thewlis. Terrible pronunciation, but Gangster Number 1 is set in the 60s, I think, and it's about a gangster, and it's got Paul Bettany in. That's all I know. So I do like the gangster films, and it's got a great cast, so I'm very looking forward to giving this one a watch. It's a film that I did watch over the weekend, and a lot of people have been asking me, watch it. I did, and that's Heat. Absolutely fantastic film, really, really enjoyed it. Just under 3 hours, and bar about 10 minutes, the film just flew by. It's a fantastic thriller with such a great shootout, around about 2 hours throughout the film. It's tense on the edge of your seats, and each of the characters here feel like their own person, and they do feel very fleshed out. This is a 2-disc special edition with like loads of special features. Really did enjoy it and highly recommend Heat. I've ordered from Amazon and eBay. First up is a box set of 5 films, and it's the Steven Seagull collection. A lot of people keep on about Under Siege, and I did want to pick up Under Siege 1 and 2 in a box set, but unfortunately it went up in price. This one was like about £2 or £3 more, so I thought, you know what, let's just get this. You get Under Siege 1, Under Siege 2, Hard to Kill, Above the Law, and Executive Decision. I've seen the 2 Under Siege films and Executive Decision, and I've enjoyed all 3 of them. Under Siege 1 is always well known for its cake scene, and yeah, it's very memorable. I was not expecting that. It's certainly something you don't see on Bake Off for Showstopper. But Under Siege 2 is a lot of fun. Probably say Under Siege 2 is more my favourite. I think because it's set on the train, it's just, I don't know, it feels more fast paced and more fun, more thrilling. Also the villain in it is really good. But the first one's still great. You've still got Gary Busey in it and Tommy Lee Jones. So yeah, that's the Steven Seagull collection. Up The Kingsman, the new one on Blu-ray in a 2 for 20 offer, and I do have the previous 2 on DVD, so I'm trying to upgrade them. So that's Kingsman here, the Secret Service. Only cost me about £2 on eBay, brand new and sealed, so very happy with that. Just got to track down the Golden Circle. Very fun film, great cast, definitely the best of the series. Next up, we have probably one of the worst transfers ever created, and that's Buster. Yeah, it's supposed to be digitally remastered, but honestly it just looks like a VHS. But in the meantime, I have heard that apparently the master copy of this has been lost to time, so this is probably the best it's ever going to look. Probably shouldn't have come out on Blu-ray, probably should have just stuck to DVD, but there we go, that's Buster. Dennis Quaid and Winona Ryder and Alec Baldwin in Great Balls of Fire. The story of Jerry Lee Lewis, great film, really enjoyed it years ago when I watched it. Haven't seen it in years, but definitely looking forward to rewatching it. Only cost me £2.66 from Rare Waves, thanks to a £5 voucher, and it comes with this lovely slip. So yeah, that's Great Balls of Fire. Watched Blue Velvet over the couple of weeks ago. Really enjoyed it. Very good David Lynch thriller. And I thought I'd pick up another one of his films, and that's Mulholland Drive. £5 voucher, and it only cost a fiver. Normally a tenner, but I only paid a fiver. This is brand new 2022 restoration from Studio Canal. The artwork on it is great. You get your slipcover, loads of special features. Heard the transfer on this is really good. There's also a 4K, but I didn't get the 4K. I just got this lovely standard Blu-ray. I did watch this on TV a couple of months ago and really enjoyed it. And the sequel came out, and I did watch that on Disney Plus, and I enjoyed that probably even more. But as this one was on offer quite cheap on Amazon, and we didn't get double pack on Blu-ray in this country, I picked up Murder on the Orient Express. Really did enjoy this film. I thought it was a solid whodunit. Definitely compared to like the TV series and the original Murder on the Orient Express, it kind of lacks a little bit for me, but the stellar all-star cast and the beautiful set pieces really do make up for it. Kenneth Branagh himself, I think, does play a really good Poirot. I do prefer the sequel, Death on the Nile. I just think it's a little bit of a better film, but it's still great and looks fantastic on TV, so I imagine it'll look fantastic on Blu-ray. So that's Murder on the Orient Express. One superhero film, or is it a superhero film that I've always wanted to watch? Did pick it up as it was only like a $5 on Amazon, and that's Constantine. Watched this over the bank holiday, absolutely loved it. Fantastic supernatural horror sort of superhero film. Keanu Reeves, Rachel Weisz, even Shia LaBeouf's in it. Fantastic, holds up really well. And yeah, I loved it. Shame we didn't get a sequel. Here's one Marvel film I haven't watched, and loads of people are like, you haven't seen this? No, I did have it on DVD, but I wanted it on Blu-ray, so I picked up Thor Ragnarok. Watched this a few weeks ago, absolutely loved it. Definitely top tier Marvel, probably in the top 10 for me. So bright, so colourful, hilarious, great characters and cast, and such a polar opposite from the other two films. I didn't mind Kenneth Branagh's Thor, but The Dark World was just plain boring and dull. And this just is so bright, so colourful, and so lived in. It just feels like a wonder to watch, even on Blu-ray. So yeah, that's Thor Ragnarok. The final delivery from Amazon was a network release, and it was the network release of The Likely Lads. I remember seeing this on TV a few years ago, and it's a lot of fun. I enjoyed the TV series, The Likely Lads, and Whatever Happened to the Likely Lads, and I've always enjoyed this film. This is like only about £7 on Amazon, but if you go on network now, as of writing this or filming this, it's only about a fiver. You do get a really thick, like 40-page booklet in it as well, and you also get 2 episodes that were thought to be lost to time of the original Likely Lads. So that's that. B stuff. I picked up another network release of the Sweeney and the Sweeney 2. Great great film adaptations of the TV show. I think the Sweeney one is much more better, but this one's still a solid go. These come out like a year after each other, right at the boom of the series, and very solid TV to film effort. Honestly, a lot of these ones normally are quite rubbish, but these did good. And this was at a time when there was like 20 a dozen like classic comedies doing it. An adult TV show make the jump to film and do it really successfully is great to see. So yeah, that's Sweeney 1 and 2. Top Gun. Already had it on DVD, but I wanted it on Blu-ray. I was going to get the 4K, but I decided to get this instead. And that's a H&V premium collection of Top Gun. You get film, you get loads of special features, you get posters and art cards. It's a fantastic release, and the Blu-ray looks great. So for $7.99 for a premium, I couldn't say no to that. If it's a recent release, Destroyer with Nicole Kidman. I remember when this came out, a lot of people were talking about it. It looks like a sort of very interesting sort of cop crime thriller. Also stars Sebastian Stan. Don't really know much about it, but it looks quite good. And for only $3.99, really hard to say no. Yeah, majority of these H&V titles are all from their big, massive half price sale. So yeah, moving on, we have Jeff Bridges and Maggie Gyllenhaal in a film called Crazy Heart for 99p. Basically, just A Star Is Born. It's about a country singer who's down on his luck, and basically he's trying to make himself better. I think he's an alcoholic, and he's trying to get back to his glory days. I was put onto this by Ash from Popcorn and Horror, link in the description down below. He's got a great channel, so go and subscribe to him. But yeah, very happy to have that in the collection, and an absolute bargain for 99p. Next up is a film starring Ben Foster and Thomasin McKenzie before she hit it big with Old and Last Night in Soho. And this is a film called Leave No Trace. I remember when this came out, this caused quite a stir. I think it was Cannes, it won some awards. I remember even Mark Commode talking about it. It's about like a father and daughter who live out in the wild off the beaten track. No phones, no nothing, and they just live off the wild. And then one day they're found and brought back into society. How does it work? Have to watch the film and find out. But to find it in HMV, brand new and sold exclusive to HMV for only $3.49, I thought, you know what? Give it a go. By Luc Besson, director of Lucy and Leon. Now he's bought another film with just a one-word name, and that's Anna. I remember when this came out. It came out about 3 or 4 years ago. Looks quite good. You got Luke Evans, Cillian Murphy, and Helen Mirren. So it's going to be another sort of typical over-the-top action fest. Looks a lot of fun. Very looking forward to watching it. So yeah, that is Anna. Again, Ash Popcorn and Horror was talking about, and I haven't seen it, but I wanted it after watching his video, and that is called Spring. It's a 101 release, $2.99, really cheap, so I thought I'd pick it up. Don't really know much about it. All I know is that this boy and girl meets up, and she's not all what she seems, so there you go. For $2.99, normally $12.99, it's really hard to say no at that sort of price. The bargain of the month is this box set. This did do the rounds quite a few years ago, but I've heard it's out of print and it's very rare to find. And that's the Superman Motion Picture Anthology. Now this isn't just the normal one that you find in HMV. Oh no. This one includes the 2 director's cuts of Superman 1 and 2 in a nice really big box set. I did do an unboxing for this on the channel, so I'll either put a link into it or one of the cards, or you can just check on my channel. And it is an absolutely incredible set, and to get it for $9.99 is absolute bargain, and I'm so happy to have it in the collection. So that is the Superman Motion Picture Anthology. Yeah, so when this HMV sale popped up, I ordered a few online to come in store, and this was one of them. This is Elvis Presley, The Searcher. Not really surprised that they actually put this on offer. I remember when this came out, this was like 20 quid, but this is now only like £2.49, and it's a perfect time to pick this up with the new film coming out. This includes a Blu-ray, DVD, and even a soundtrack, and a booklet. It's basically just a documentary of his life through like various people who knew him well. It's a very interesting watch. I have seen a little bit of it, but at 3 hours long, it is quite a hefty documentary, but for £2.49, it's hard to say no. Also, I picked that up with another film for like £2.49. It's Daniel Craig, Cole Meany, Sienna Miller and Michael Gambon in a Matthew Vaughn film, and that's Layer Cake. I have seen this one many years ago, but I can't really remember much about it. It's a film that got Daniel Craig the role of Bond, so it's quite an important film. So I'm very happy to have that in the collection. I think it's something to do with like drug dealing and how it goes wrong, but yeah, only £2.49, that's Layer Cake. And then another one that I picked up through this HMV sale online is a Prince film that I've always wanted to watch but never seen. I know the song, and that is Purple Rain. But yeah, don't really know much about it. I think from what I gather, it's more just a film, like a music video film, very much like Michael Jackson Moonwalker. Most of the songs, music videos tie into this film in some form or another, but very happy to have this in the collection. This is only like £3.49, so it was a great price to have it. So yeah, I'm very intrigued to give this one a watch. So that's Purple Rain. I already do have this on Blu-ray and on 4K. Well, I already have this on 4K, I already have this on DVD, but I wanted it on Blu-ray. And this was before I got the 4K TV, so I picked up Spider-Man Homecoming for £2.49. So I've got this on every single format known to man for some reason. Even though I'm not the biggest fan of this film, so there. But yeah, Spider-Man Homecoming is a pretty decent film. Tom Holland's great in it, Robert Downey Jr. is great in it, and a solid film. Not my favourite Spider-Man, but a bargain for $2.49. Next up is a film by Paul Schrader starring Ethan Hawke and Amanda Seyfried, and that is First Reform. I don't really know much about it. I think from what I gather, he's like a priest and there's like some sort of supernatural thing going on with this woman's partner. don't really know fully what's going on, but I've heard a lot of positive things about it, and it's a H&V exclusive Blu-ray for £2.99, so I thought, why not? Next up is a TV series that I absolutely loved watching back in 2016 when it came out, starring Tom Hiddleston and Hugh Laurie. It's The Night Manager, one of the best TV shows of the past decade in my opinion. Such a fantastic spy espionage film, and honestly to me it just makes a perfect showcase of why Tom Hiddleston could be a fantastic Bond. It's just such a brilliant TV series, and it's spread over 2 discs. You do get some special features like interviews with the cast and crew. This one was like about 20 odd quid when it came out. I picked it up for like £3.49, so that's The Night Manager. So I'm not the biggest Steelbook fan. I don't go out of my way to buy them, but when they're this super cheap, I thought, you know what, pick them up. First up is a DC animated film, and it's Wonder Woman Bloodlines for £3.99. Yeah, you can pick up the normal Amaray edition for like about 8 quid, but you can pick up the Blu-ray for £3.99, so I thought, you know what, pick it up. It's a nice looking steelbook. I do like these DC animated films. I think they're very solid efforts and much better than Marvel. So, very happy to have that in the collection for only £3.99. There's a film that I have been meaning to get, but I haven't finished the series yet. I'm about into halfway through season 2, so I've still got a long way to go at Breaking Bad. But they had El Camino, the Breaking Bad movie, on Steelbook for £4.99, so it was a no-brainer. The standard Blu-ray's like about 10-15 quid, so I had to pick it up. I had to pick it up for like a £5. Last copy on the shelf, so yeah. I'm not overly won over by the design, but still, it's a fantastic, cheap way of owning the film. Still got 2 more parts to go through. Thankfully, they're not as big as the other ones, but as you may know, the past month I actually picked up a 4K TV, which is brilliant. I'm really enjoying it. Bar one issue with the TV going wrong after 2 weeks of having it and having to rush around 60 miles to get a replacement on a Sunday. It's a great TV. I'm loving it, and it's really transforming the way you watch films and play games. So I've decided to get a 4K. I've delved into 4K, even though I don't have a 4K Blu-ray player, but I'm saving up for one, so hopefully it won't be too long before I can actually watch them. But I did pick up a nice stack of 4Ks, all relatively cheap. So I picked up Vin Diesel in XXX, The Return of Xander Cage. I think this is more like I treat them more like Fast and Furious spin-offs. They look like over-the-top action fun. This was like only 4 quid on 4K, brand new and silver with your Blu-ray, so yeah, this is what I'm doing. I'm buying cheap ones that come with the Blu-ray so I can watch the Blu-ray, and then when I eventually upgrade, I've got 4K there. I'm starring Jennifer Lawrence, Robert De Niro and Bradley Cooper. I mainly picked it up for the cast along, and that is Joy. Don't really know much about it. All I can gather is about this character here who's called Joy, and it's just the life of her. So yeah, for £4, that's Joy. The rest of these ones are all from H&V, and they were all like either £3.49 or £4.99. First up is the sequel to Trainspotting, T2 Trainspotting. I have seen this before. I actually do have the Blu-ray, but I thought I'd pick up the 4K for like only £3.49. It's a great film. I thought it was a solid sequel, and being set like 20 years after the original, they've done a good job. That's Groundhog Day. As you may see, it says £20 or 2 for 30, but no. It was actually only £4.99 because it says digital codes. All the ones that are on offer with digital codes are the ones that are half price. So I managed to snag the final copy of Groundhog Day, and I'm incredibly happy to get this on 4K for a £5. But yeah, I did have a word with my friend Keith at Euphoria Pictures, link in the description, about this, and he said this is like a really good 4K, so I'm really looking forward to watching this when I eventually get a 4K. But I'll probably give the Blu-ray a watch in the meantime, as I've always wanted to watch this one. It looks like a very fun and enjoyable film. Soundland and the disc is a bit so I thought I'd pick up the 4K of it, and that's Spider-Man 3. Yeah, a lot of people are mixing this one. Honestly, I didn't mind it. I thought it was a solid film. It's definitely the weakest of the Raimi trilogy, but it's still a fun time. It was a victim of studio interference more than anything else, but for what Sam Raimi had to do with it, he done the best he could, to be fair. The other two in the Raimi trilogy were also 5 quid, but unfortunately I couldn't find them. But I'm still very happy to get this on 4K for a £5. I'll probably pick up 2 and 3 later on down the line when I eventually do get a 4K player, and probably like a 3 for 30 deal. So that's Spider-Man 3. Another film I do have on DVD, but I want to upgrade it to 4K. Well, I actually want to upgrade it to Blu-ray, but the 4K was cheap, so I picked up Baby Driver. Fantastic Edgar Wright film. Absolutely love it. So much fun. Real brilliant crime caper with a great soundtrack and even greater cast. Says $4.99, took it to the till. I actually scanned for $2.49, so it went through as the price of the Blu-ray, so I'm not complaining. And that's Baby Driver with a slip. Brilliant. These are the first 2 4K titles that I actually picked up in the month, and I picked them up mainly because of the Blu-ray. I didn't have a 4K TV at the time, I don't think. I just picked them up for the Blu-rays because I've always wanted to watch the films, and they were cheaper to buy the 4K than the Blu-ray. And that's Philadelphia. Starring Tom Hanks and Denzel Washington. I think it's basically like a trial basically about Tom Hanks' character who gets kicked out from his job for having for being gay or having AIDS, and Denzel Washington's having to be his attorney and try to stick up for him in court. Heard some fantastic things about this film. Really looking forward to watching it. It's got 2 incredible actors in this, so I'm very happy to have that in the collection, and I'll probably will be watching this one quite soon. The month is Bridge of the River Kiwi. Bridge of the River Kwai. Yeah, classic war film. My dad absolutely loves this film. I've never seen it. 60th anniversary edition. It's a classic film. I've heard the 4K transfer, and this is absolutely stellar as well. So I'm very happy to have that in the collection. Again, this one and this one was only a £5 each. Blu-rays, each of them were like about $7.99 each, so it was a no-brainer. I also love about the Sony Pictures release is that they all go in uniform like that, and I really do like that. But we have the final pile, and it's the Arrow films. So I picked up these 3 titles in like a, well, I had about £7 off on Amazon, so it only cost me about 18 quid for all 3, so it's pretty good. I picked up Why Don't You Just Die? This is like a Russian comedy horror sort of film. It's very much an Edgar Wright film. It's a lot of fun. Basically, you do get a booklet with this, which is good. Basically, this dude here wants to date this girl, and the father doesn't want her, so them two get in a massive fight. A lot of blood, a lot of swearing, and some really brutal combat in it. It feels like a video game sometimes. It's just so over the top. But it's a lot of fun. Highly recommend picking up Why Don't You Just Die? I recently watched the Rocky Horror Show a few months ago. Surprisingly, really enjoyed it. I thought it was a solid film. And there was a sequel. I heard the sequel's not very good, but as it's on Arrow and I had it on this offer, it basically only cost me a couple of quid, so I thought I picked it up, and that was Shock Treatment. This is a film. It's a very odd film, but bizarrely, I had an absolute blast with it. I loved it. I honestly think it's better than Rocky Horror in my opinion. The soundtrack is fantastic. The casting is great. You've also do have Jessica Harper here from Suspiria, and she does a really good turn here as Janet. Her singing voice is fantastic, and the songs here are just so catchy. It's a very odd film. It doesn't really make much sense, but Shock Treatment is just so much fun. Miracle Mile, which I did watch over the month, and I really enjoyed it. It starts off as a romantic drama, but soonly unfolds into something much more darker and quite depressing, to be fair. But yeah, you get your Blu-ray and your DVD with it. I won't say too much of the film because I don't want to spoil it for you, but it is quite a heartbreaking end and quite a morbid end, to be fair. But it's a fantastic film and a hugely underrated film on the Arrow label, and that is Miracle Mile. Next up is a film that I've always wanted to watch. I feel like I live on the set of it, and it's Tom Hanks in The Burbs. Yeah. Joe Dante film, Carrie Fisher, Corey Feldman, great cast in it. Always wanted to watch it, never got around to it. So I finally have it in the collection on Arrow, and I'm very happy to have it. I'm really looking forward to giving it a go. You get loads of special features in this one, so that's great. And it only cost me about £8, so that's The Burbs. Completing my Arrow Dario Argento collection, I finally picked up The Cat of Nine Tails on Blu-ray. Haven't seen this one yet. I did watch Deep Red the other night and really enjoyed it. I thought it was a fantastic giallo. I definitely do want to get the extended edition, well, the ultimate edition, which includes like 2 or 3 discs, because the one I watched was a slightly longer cut, and I've heard that the shorter cut is a better way to go, so I'm looking out for that one. But The Cat of Nine Tails, another giallo from Dario Argento. Heard it's not as good as the other ones. It's one of his earlier ones, but I'm looking forward to watching it nevertheless. So that's The Cat of Nine Tails. And then the next one is a Mario... No, it isn't a Mario Brava film. It's a Lucio Fulci film. And again, it's another giallo film, and that's Don't Torture Duckling. Again, heard incredible things with this one. Like Deep Red, this is highly considered one of the best giallos of all time, and I think this might actually be Lucio Fulci's most popular film, or best film. Don't really know too much about it, but it's a giallo, so you know what you're expecting. These titles, though, really... I was like, I'm going to buy Don't Torture a Duckling. Wait, what? The title. Wait, what? Don't Torture a Duckling. And it does feel very much like they pick random words and just make up a title with it. But I'm looking forward to giving this one a go. I've heard some amazing things about it. So that's Don't Torture a Duckling. Is the Arrow limited edition of Wild Things. Starring Neve Campbell, Denise Richardson, Matt Dillon and Kevin Bacon. This is like a sort of like sexy thriller from the 90s. Supposed to be quite naughty in places, so there's that. But yeah, it looks like a really good watch. It's an Arrow limited edition. You get your booklet, your art card, your poster, and your special edition Blu-ray with loads of special features. I did do an unboxing for this on the channel, so again, I'll leave it in like one of the cards or the link it down below for you to watch. But yeah, that's Wild Things. And that is all the pickups for the month of May. Over 50 titles. Unbelievable. It's with the H&V sale that's really done it for getting films like as cheap as 99p or 4Ks as cheap as £3.49. It's easy to see why I picked up so many. It's a fantastic sale, and I honestly urge you to go down to H&V to check out your local stores to see if they've still got some offers. But yeah, now I've got a fine place for all of these films, and it's going to take a long while. It'll probably take me all till next month to find somewhere to put them. But be sure I'll find some space, as we collectors always do. Why don't you tell me in the comment section down below of all my pickups and posts for the month of May. Tell me what films I should watch first. Again, in the comment section down below. I'll reply back to all of you. And as always, thank you very much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you could like and subscribe, that'd be totally awesome. And as always, till next time, bye.